Hey, I believe it's been a sufficient while since I've done a talking head video. I just found a file on YouTube I didn't know I had. It was messages basically waiting to be reviewed, and I thought I approved it and it disappeared, so I really only got to read it once, and I'm going to attempt to answer this fan mail. The question is along the lines of being here on Earth, not being happy or fulfilled, wishing for your time here to be over, and if there's a way out karmically. Basically, can you suicide without having repercussions? First of all, my number one piece of advice is get some vitamin B12 patches. We very much underestimate how much our vitamin levels impact us. Get a good liquid multivitamin, but I'm telling you, nobody gets enough vitamin B12, but especially not vegans or vegetarians. And the supplements on the market that are oral, only about 10% of people can even absorb some of that. So just assume that you're not one of that 10% and get some patches. They're transdermal. The vitamin B12 goes right into your skin. I swear I notice now when my B12 levels are dipping. And because we're not used to thinking in this way, I mean, even I'll go a day or two being just blue. And if I go too long, I can sink into a depression. And then I'll remember, oh yeah, I haven't had a B12 patch in a while. And within a day, the world is much brighter. Of course, I'm not saying that it will solve all your issues, but it has a serious impact on your thinking and your mental well-being. Now, that being said, obviously, you know, hardcore life issues are not necessarily going to be resolved just by getting healthy and being, you know, topped up on all your vitamins. It's definitely going to help you deal with things better, though. So just make that step one. Go on Amazon.com and get some B12 patches. If you want, you can link to my website. I have like an Amazon store with all of the products that I recommend. You can find the patches in there. And for my vitamin choice, I use Vitamin Code Liquid Multi. It covers most of your bases. Not all of them, obviously. You can't get everything you need in a spoonful of vitamins. You can eat a well-rounded diet of fresh fruits and vegetables to get most of your, I don't want to say most because our soils are depleted, but you can get a lot of the micronutrients that we don't even know that we need, and a balance of most of the vitamins and minerals by eating soaked, sprouted nuts and seeds and fresh fruits and vegetables, supplementing with a liquid multivitamin, and without a doubt, you just, in this day and age, you just have to get B12 somehow. And so far, the most effective way I've found without getting a needle involved, because I don't like shots, are the transdermal patches. Now, I've been going on and on about vitamins because I want you to understand how important it is. But getting to the issues of suicide, karmic debt, and not being happy on Earth, of course, I have experienced these feelings many times in my life. It's challenging to be on Earth in this time period. The earth is going through incredible change. Humanity is going through incredible change. But the bottom line is, if you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. I don't really want to say that I believe or don't believe in repercussions from suicide, or necessarily that I want to put it into the terminology of karma. I do believe there are actions and reactions. So the things that you do and the choices that you make, they all have consequences. Some people want to call that karma. Some people believe you come into this life with a karmic debt from your past lives. I personally like to look at it this way. We're a spirit on an unending journey. And each life mission that we decide to take, we have certain goals that we want to accomplish. We set out with basically like a life overview or a plan. Of course, you can change it, but for the most part, you decided what you wanted to accomplish and learn and grow from before you even came here. So why are you experiencing a whole bunch of negative, what you term negative, relationships or experiences? Because you have something to learn from these experiences. Negativity is just a term that you choose to put on the experience. Honestly, I think if you relieve yourself of this idea of negative and positive, it's all just experience, and experience causes the growth that you want to achieve. If I look back over my life, I've had many experiences that most people would term negative or extremely challenging, extraordinarily challenging. I've had what a lot of people would call, well, just layman terminology, a rough life. Like, it hasn't been a cakewalk. But if I remove this template idea of negative and positive, I see the incredible wealth of information that has been the gift that comes from these experiences. For one thing, I wouldn't be able to help people in the way that I want to be helpful here on earth if I didn't have these experiences. And if I didn't have the wealth of knowledge that I have, I would still be very confused, like I was when I was younger. But instead, I can relate to people who are confused. And, you know, sometimes all it takes for a person to feel better in this world is to know that someone out there has had the same experience and made it through. I'm proof of so many experiences that you can get through in this world and still find a purpose. People like us didn't come here to have it made, to have it easy. People like us had experiences in other lifetimes that drew us to this planet to be helpful at this time. Sometimes it doesn't feel like, you know, being curled up in a ball, crying because you don't want to be alive is a very helpful thing to do. But that's an experience you're having towards being helpful in the future. The bottom line is, you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to be here. You can step out of this life at any time. That's a choice you can make. But that's not the choice that you came here to make. What happens if you do that, in my intuition, is that you just still have the same problems, the same issues. You just don't have a body, and you'll be sitting there waiting to get a body again because you want to learn these things. The only way out is ascension. You may have, you know, many more lifetimes to go through before you can accomplish that. But stepping out of this experience through destroying the body that you have now is not going to accomplish anything. So as bad as it gets, just go through what you have to go through and realize that's your mission. If you can remove this idea of negativity, you'll realize your mission is always poignant. It's always purposeful. I feel like I've rambled on enough about this. I may touch on this again in the future, but for now, I think, you know, get a B12 patch. Things will lighten up for real. And then start paying attention to just this amazing opportunity that you have. Just look at the fact that you can make, you know, look, just by thought, I have this organism that I can move and manipulate in this 3, 4, 5 dimensional world. It's a playground.